Yes, we need to brighten
ourselves up.
Take it from here, please, James. All right. Moving on to matters a lot less bright and cheerful. The Independent today is talking about a controversy which blew up yesterday in the British press about the Pope's visit to the UK in September. There was a memo circulating in the Foreign Office which was basically poking fun at the Pope's visit. It said, you know, perhaps he would launch his own brand of condoms, maybe he'd attend an opening ceremony for an abortion clinic, bless a gay marriage. So all very funny, all fun and games, except that it got out, it was leaked. And so basically the Independent is reporting on various apologies by David Miliband, by the Scottish Secretary Jim Murphy, who is charged with the whole thing. He called it vile and disgusting. Now, if we move on to the Daily Mail, it's on the front page, and they're saying that privately, senior Vatican officials have rejected the apology, in fact, and they're even putting it down to dark forces which are at work within the British government. So that's not exactly saying, you know, that they're not just being critical. They're sort of saying that, you know, there's some sort of evil, dark forces at work. It's quite a sinister accusation. But anyway, so they're saying while some are eager for the visit to go well, others oppose it. This is some unnamed senior official in the Vatican, and he says that the visit could even be cancelled if things keep, you know, going this way. That it risks being remembered for the memo and not actually for the visit itself. So, pretty impressive declarations all around, really. And also on the front page of the Daily Mail, they're talking about politics. And Nick Clegg, he's the leader of the Liberal Democrats, the party that is in kind of pole position to decide who goes into government. Basically, he's saying that if it's a Labour coalition with the Liberal Democrats, he wants to be Prime Minister. Yet, they have a photo of Sarah Brown on the front page. Why would that be? Well, I will direct your gaze to her shoes. This seems to be the focus of attention. Sort of like Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz wearing a pair of red, stylish wedges, which cost £45. And also, this is getting attention in The Guardian, and they give it 4 stars out of 5 for the shoes. And they say, they go on to say, given the breathless coverage of the political wives' wardrobes in this campaign, we can only assume the pollsters have identified a swing group of voters who are going to vote on the basis of shoes, on the basis of the possible Prime Minister wives' shoes. But they're getting, I mean, it's crazy, you know, Sam Cam and all her outfits, and it's a little bit tiring, really, I think. Now, we'll move on to the front page of The Guardian, which is actually talking about the kind of more serious political issues. Clegg goes public on coalition and looks to the Tories. Now, this is basically a declaration that he made yesterday where he said if Labour comes third, currently in polls you've got the Conservatives, Liberal Democrats and Labour. So Clegg said if Labour does come third, he will actually talk to the Conservatives first, which goes against convention. Apparently, Constitutional Convention would have you speak to the outgoing political, or the outgoing government for coalition talks first. And Clegg is saying, no, I don't want to do that. And David Mandelson has got his spake in, saying voters who flirt with Nick Clegg are likely to end up married to David Cameron. And if we have a look inside, they've got cartoons which are referring both to the papal visit and to, I suppose, Clegg's role as kingmaker, as he's been called. So if we have a look at this cartoon inside, they're talking about what is it again? I missed my... Yes, which is a kind of a burning of books reference, apparently, as opposed to hung parliament. So you've got Clegg in the middle, wondering which one he'll burn up. And also further on, Jackie Ashley, writing for the Guardian, says that really, if you did have a coalition between Labour and the Liberal Democrats, how long would it last? Because they're so opposed on issues such as immigration, where the Conservatives are quite strict, and the Lib Dems are saying amnesty for all. And then on Europe, of course, they're completely poles apart. The Conservatives being quite Eurosceptic. So that's some of the coverage in the British press today about the elections. And of course, elections is on the front page of other papers in other countries too. We'll have a look at just some front pages in Hungary. This paper is called the Daily Express. I'll give an attempt at the headline. El Sopro Fidesz Gyozelem, which means overwhelming victory for Fidesz. That's the kind of right-leaning party which got quite a successful victory with 263 seats and notably kept Jobbik, the far-right party, out. And in Der Standard, in neighbouring Austria, almost 80% for Heinz Fischer, but only half the population votes. So that's making the front page in Austria and Hungary. And I thought it was curious that in Austria and Hungary, formerly the Austro-Hungarian Empire, they have elections on pretty much the same date. It's kind of strange. Maybe
something that's hung over from past times.
Who knows? Who knows? A little nod to history. Now, probably not. That's actually probably a complete coincidence. But anyway, now we'll move to the International Herald Tribune, and they're looking back over the past week and a half, and another impossible to pronounce volcano, and they're saying that the volcano revealed a lot of diversity in Europe, and it kind of confirmed a lot of stereotypes. Because in Italy, apparently they waited until the very last minute to react, and in the end there was a big flurry of activity to put up cots and beds in Leonardo da Vinci Airport. But they did cancel a strike. They're very compassionate, according to the paper, unlike the French, who refused to cancel their SNCF strike and left people stranded all over the place. The Greeks then got in on the game, and apparently they took advantage of the situation to disrupt ferry services. In Russia, then you had tickets going on sale on the black markets. So, I mean, it's a little bit all over the place, this article, but I think what they're more or less trying to say is it confirmed diversity and stereotypes, but that nature has devised a perfect metaphor for the burden of unionhood, saying that Europe is a family of nations and that they're condemned to live together despite all these differences, even if Iceland is kind of the alarming cousin at the other end of the dining room table. So they're looking for metaphors all over the place, I think, with
all right,
the past week.
Thank you very much indeed for a look at what's happening in the international papers. Before we move on, let's get a reminder of the main headlines. So the British ambassador to Yemen, Tim